not going to last, Mike. I was going to get that blue shell and you're going to be fucked.
Come on. Fucking blue shell! Well, it's been a few months, and I don't know about you, but we've all been enjoying Mario Kart 8. Fuck this game! Fuck's sake! So I thought now would be a good time to go back and have a look at the best kart racing game the Game Boy Advance had to offer. Ah, there it is. Konami Krazy Racers. That's right, Konami Krazy Racers. You haven't lived until you've tried this game, and let me tell you why. Yeah, alright, I know what you're thinking. It's a Mario Kart rip-off, right? It's just like Mario Kart. Yeah, okay, whilst it certainly does have the Mario Kart formula, which had been beaten around a bit at the time, this actually came out as a launch title for the Game Boy Advance. That's right, before Mario Kart Super Circuit was out, Konami were in there first, with not just one, but two bloody brilliant games. So I'm going to tell you now, it didn't just come out sooner than Mario Kart, it was better, and here's why. If you're a bit unfamiliar with this, you're not alone. But the general idea is that this is a Konami crossover racing game. Think of Smash Brothers, but racing, and not Nintendo. So you've got all your Konami mascots from back in the day, all together, having a big race, which is great. But when this came out back in 2001, not many of the characters were well known, and they still aren't, to be honest. But over in Japan, these were your superstars, these were A-list game celebs. And this wasn't anything new for Konami. They've been doing these crossover games for a few years, but this was the first time they've done it driving, and the first time we've got to buy it on our own shelves. So, you've just got your new Game Boy Advance, your new Konami Racer, you're probably still expecting some Mario Kart knockoff, but let's not diss it till we've had a look. And when you start it up, you already know you're in for a treat. Before you even start racing, the fun's already there. The menu is set out like a desktop. Well, you know right away someone had fun making this game. So everything's got this nice sort of dynamic style to it. Not a boring menu in sight. Even the character select screen got me excited, not just picking some box with a bloke's face in, you know the type. And it's good, even in the main game itself. Everyone's expressive and endearing, it's lovely. Because I didn't like it so much in Super Circuit. In that game, everyone's trying to look 3D like in Mario Kart 64, and sadly it doesn't really look so good on a GBA screen. But Krazy Racers stuck to its simple 2D look, and I think it's aged better as a result. The characters still look great even now. But you're probably wondering who half these people are. Who's that Bomberman looking fella there? And what's with that Easter Island bozo? And that's the thing. In this game we've got characters from all walks of Konami life, which is great for those fans if you know who they are. If you played the game they're from, you're in for a treat. But sadly these aren't household names for most people. Not like with your Mario Karts. I mean, everyone knows the Mario Brothers or Donkey Kong, but you'd be a bit hard pressed to find someone who recognises Niami from Poppin' Music or Takosuke the Octopus from Parodius, never mind being able to pronounce some of the names properly. Still, I reckon they probably could have got a few more big names in there. Simon Belmont was a popular character back in the day. Could have also had one of the guys from Contra, Sparkster from Rocket Knight, or some love for Suikoden. But honestly, it doesn't matter too much in the long run. Even if you ain't got a clue who these guys are, they're colourful and memorable enough. If you don't have a favourite by the end of it, you've got no soul. Simple as. So when you picked your bloke and you actually start your race, you know it is a lot like Mario Kart, but at least on the surface. It ticks all the boxes, but you can see the differences from a mile away. All your tracks are based on famous Konami games, and the music is superb, top tier. Easily the best part of the game is the tunes. I've said good things about Castlevania's music before, and Konami doesn't disappoint with this one. We even have the first stage tune from Akuma Joe Densetsu in here.
Wait, what? Slow down, Mike. Akuma what?
Now, like I've said before, you got plenty of differences when you're in the game, and one of the main ones is the weapon system, for two reasons. Because in Mario Kart, you just get an item box, and that item could be anything. You get a weapon, could be a speed boost, and all that depends on what place you are, you know the routine. But in Krazy Racers it's different. You got a bit more control, because you haven't got boxes, you've got bells. So you get your normal bells, your red bells, which gives you a regular weapon you can use, like to crash the other racers who are ahead or behind. Like in Mario Kart, you get homing weapons, you get straight shooting weapons, you get your traps, you name it. And then you get blue bells, not blue shells, thank God. The blue bells are speed boosts. You see them less in the red ones, but you know exactly what you're getting when you touch one. Like Diddy Kong Racing with its coloured balloons, which is always good. And you can store them up as well. If you get 2 blue bells, that's 2 boosts. Get 3 and you're laughing. But the best part, I haven't even got to the best part yet, you get to upgrade your items. Because in this game, like in Mario Kart, you get to pick up coins as you're going along. And I know what you're thinking, oh great, coins in a kart racing game, what's next, eh? Bananas in Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, but listen to this. So in Mario Kart you get your coins, but they don't really do all that much apart from increase your speed, and you only get to keep them for that race. But in Krazy Racers, it's all different. You get to keep your coins, and you get to spend them, which is, well, what coins are for, surely. So you take your coins, and you go and see Professor Cinnamon from the Twinbee games, you all know him. And you have a browse and spend your coins. Spend those hard-earned coins on all the item upgrades you could want. So upgrading an item lets you use it twice. You pick it up like normal, but you can fire 2 lots of it. And upgrading it again lets you use it 3 times. So imagine that. If you really love those blue shells from Mario Kart, imagine being able to get 3 of them. Well, I don't want to live in that world, but imagine it anyway. But that's just one side of it. Because it's not just the items, the controls are a little bit different from what you're used to as well. There's a lot less emphasis on drifting, so you won't be holding down the R button when you go around corners. There's no turbo boost for drifting either, so snaking is right out. Your cornering isn't very sharp, so knowing when to slow down is a key skill for those awkward bends. Or if you're more of a pro, you can do a little hop with the R button, which lets you turn much faster when you're in the air. So you're going to be combining doing all sorts of techniques as you go along, and that's about as technical as it gets. Obviously, some characters are fantastic at speed and cornering, others not so good. Not calling out any names. So when you've mastered the controls, you'll be winning gold cups in no time. And that's all pretty standard, you get points for first, second, third, etc. And whoever's got the most points after the 4 races is the champion. Easy enough. But it's not just about getting the cups, not at all. You also get licenses by doing special races outside of the Grand Prix. And getting a better class license lets you get to the harder GPs, so there's a good bit of progression in there which breaks things up a little, which I always like. Although some of the licenses do make you just repeat a race you already did earlier, so maybe that could have been spiced up a little. But you know, that's fine. When you've got a game with music as good as this, you're going to want to be playing it all day anyway. I told you earlier, I'll say it again, those stages are some of the best picks from Konami's games. Sadly no Goonies stage this time round, but maybe one day. And with each stage comes a whopper of a tune, which really made me remember how good some of Konami's music is. Never thought I'd hear the Metal Gear Solid theme while I was racing, that's for sure. That'll see you through the week. Is there much more to say? Well as all the races, we've got some mini-games that you might not even realise were there. There's a chicken race, and a battle mode, which you can actually play by yourself, which is great if you've got no friends. Or a link cable. So that's Krazy Racers, Konami's crossover kart racer for Game Boy Advance. Should you play it? Well, if you like any of the older Mario Kart games, then absolutely. This game beats Super Circuit hands down for me, I could not recommend it more. And if you like Konami games, I mean if you've just played any of the Konami games featured in this game, then go for it. Even if you want to just drive around as the Cyborg Ninja for 10 minutes, you won't regret it. Would I recommend it over something like Mario Kart 8? Probably not, just because the genre has stepped forward a lot in the 10 plus years it's been. But what would be great would be to see a new Krazy Racers come out on a next gen system. We'll get Kojima on the line, we'll do it in the Fox engine, it'll be great. It won't be anything like the one they tried to bring out on smartphones, because that was